What's good? You rocking with your boys are All Rights Reserved. I'm actually giving it to you guys a little early so I can fully get through all the things that I'd like to get through. Let's just go right into it. So, first off, we're going to start slow, then we're going to ramp up. So, I'm going to make sure you get a build in the middle of my explanations so that we have some sort of understanding. So, let's talk about this first off. Michael Boatwright is filing for a competency to stand trial. Now, remember I told you this is a gift and a curse, because ultimately, and hit that subscriber button, especially the bell, today's about to turn up. Why would he get a competency test? So, allegedly, people are saying he needs it on the backside from individuals who claim to know him somewhat that I speak to on the side or know of him. But listen, this is honestly two ways. Either A, it was required to him by some type of counsel that was looking to help him from his description of what actually may have happened, because you fill your lawyer in on details around a situation. Or he's doing this to get away from standing trial for the full brunt of what this case is going to bring. Now, this doesn't benefit him if that is the case, if he's thinking that way, or if any type of counsel told him. Number one, it's a murder case. So even if you are doing it, you're going to really have to be crazy. And if you are crazy, do you think that gives you your freedom? They're probably going to make sure you get help for the rest of your life. So you're going to end up being in a facility where you have to consistently take meds, or you have to be examined to some level, depending on what it is that you're claiming mental issues with. Now, schizophrenia or something, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you could get off in this situation, but you're going to really have to act something out for them to believe this. Because as far as this case goes, they're seeing a bunch of cold-hearted criminals. That's what you got to get in your mind. I don't think you understand that yet, but it will dawn on you when you start serving the time. But that's part of why I'm saying to you, you got to be careful. Because you're sitting here thinking like, okay, well, I'll just do this and slide off. But what they don't tell you is, even though you might not get a straitjacket for what you did, you're going to have to be on meds and you're going to be examined. Now, these meds aren't the meds you were self-medicating with. And when I say that, it's the alleged, let's say, substance they found on you. It's not that. These meds are a different type that literally deal with the influx in your brain. So it's not even like you're going to be conscious enough to hunt for what you're looking for. So if you are truly in a situation where your mentality is in question, you're going to take the drugs that are for that. And they're going to take you to a different type of plane that I don't think you've taken anything to put you at this level. It's not an enjoyable high. It is literally a controlling substance that levels you out to a certain extent where you're not going to be enjoying it. Believe it or not, a lot of people that are slated to take it hate it. And a lot of times they go without taking it. And, sadly, there is an increase in suicides of people with these type of mental issues. So I don't think this is nothing to play with. If you really think you have mental issues, get them fixed. But I don't think now was the time to be looking for it when they're trying to look for who actually was involved in this case. Just in my opinion, with my thoughts surrounding what it is you're trying to defend with. You're the only one that took this route. So we're looking at the other three in a normal case. And in a second, we're going to get to Trayvon. Maybe it'll be before I handle business or however I'm going to do it. But we're going to speak about Trayvon's situation. So we can rule out Michael Boatwright for the time being on taking this defense in this lane for him in this case. There's no way he had connection with the mastermind if he can't even control his mental state. In my opinion, one of the reasons he may be taking this is, regardless of the evidence, is that he may not want to be around these people when he gets in prison. Because this is a high profile case, their faces are all over, and being who it is that they harmed, this goes against a lot of codes and rules when looking at how a structure of family is set together, there are a lot of people that cared about Tentacion. So the fact your name's mentioned in this, if you truly have innocence, you need to fight this case straight up if you can prove against what is being, let's say, alleged in you. And we haven't seen the clear evidence. I haven't seen the clear evidence. I've seen bits and pieces, but not enough to build a picture on what position you actually played. I have a lot of commenters claiming a shooter, but we don't know that. Did they test gunpowder residue of anyone's hands? At least, I hope you tested it of the first 2 people that you put into custody. At the least. If they were smart. But here's my thing. If the evidence was that strong, or you felt you couldn't afford it, if you really were innocent, you would take a stand to fight it in court. That is why I said we're dealing with 3, because 1 has lawyered up. So we're not really sure where he stands in the midst of this. And let me reiterate this. Lawyering up doesn't mean guilt. Lawyering up is a smart move. But at the same time, if you were guilty, it's still a smart move, because you're making sure you cover your ends and certain things can't be claimed against you falsely. And knowing how to speak by a trained and well-professioned individual is key to beating these cases. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, hit the subscriber button if you haven't. Hit the bell right beside if you haven't either. We're going to be turning up on these situations and really examining the depths, because that is the only way I'll be able to deliver the understanding of information that I have awaiting for you at our normal, regularly scheduled time of when I usually drop my videos. Get your night off right. So here's the thing. The competency, clearance, and clarification and mentality to stand trial, all of that seems like a good idea. But if you're not really in a mental state or messed up, even if they do deem you that, it's going to be a bad life. Your future is going to have a lot of things going on that you really don't want to be going on. It's going to be deeper than you think it is. It's not going to be a very simple thing. It's not going to be a matter of if you can do this, if you can do that. Your whole life and whole future is going to be controlled by individuals who are handing you these medications. That's my thing. This is a medicated life that you're going to be part of. So it's not going to be a controlled life where you slide out away from the other criminals and it's just living calm. You're going to be around people who are really in mental states. You're going to see a lot of, let's say, disenfranchised personalities. You're going to try and have conversations with people and they're not going to be in the right mind, because you're going somewhere where people aren't in the right mind for real, for real. So it's not like you're going to have to deal with harm or any type of get back, as much as you're going to be around those who really aren't normal, which can drive you crazy. And I admit, you may need the meds after you meet some of the other people who really have disorders. Not to say you don't, but to what level of discrepancy is your disorders? Because these people literally have super bad stuff going on mentally. Like, I mean, real bad to the point where they need to be coached up on everything. They need the direction. Did you really need the direction to make a decision like this, to be involved in a case of this magnitude? Or is this your way of getting out of the situation? That is what a lot of people are going to ask. And even if they grant it to you, they know they're sending you to a place where you're not going to be able to not only harm someone ever again, but you may go crazy yourself being around other people who are out of mind and literally need these meds to control themselves. That is why I said we need to wait till all 4 of them were together to see what they do, to see where each stands. So this is very important. So Mr. Boatwright, in connection to everyone else who's in this situation, is currently in let's say, position where he can't box off his offenders. So literally these guys now, in a way, are going to have you in their palms, moving you like a puppet, because you're saying your mental capacity is not powerful enough to stand trial. And then the worst thing is, if they deny it and you've been waiting all this time, do you have a lawyer that can really defend you from this position that you're taking to fight? See, the number one thing was to do what Trayvon Newsom did. What he did is honestly what all of you should have done. And that's where the trouble comes into the situation. You all should have made that decision. And that's the dangers of everything going on. Like, where's the safety in it? Where's the protection? Where's the device and backup and support in this type of situation? You're not going to have it how you want. It's not going to come to you as comfortably as you thought it may. Because if you have watched and researched documentaries with people who have mental disorders and all types of things, it is going to be almost a nightmare for you to be around people when you're normal minded and you don't need the meds that they need. Even you taking these meds, it's not going to be a relaxing high. It's going to take you to a different plane of existence where it might even make you eventually go crazy if you're consistently taking these meds and you're really not crazy. So there's many side effects. These people fight off taking the medicine, not only because they don't want it, but it's because of what it does to them. So you got to keep these things in mind. And sometimes standing up for a situation that you're being accused in, facing your accuser properly, is going to work out for the better. And I'm sorry that you took this route, but it wasn't a safe route to take. Not being the fact it involved a murder, not being the fact of how your background looks, and also not being the fact of who is deceased now through your actions. Because they're going to have less mercy being he was somewhat of, let's say, an area hero. So this guy was a hero to some people. So the mercy being taken because of your situation is very unlikely. But I look forward to seeing how your case is going to turn out and whether they're going to grant this mental incompetency to stay in trial. Again, you may need it, you may not, but we'll see how it works out in your favor. On to the next one. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.